Right. Did you have pain right from a young child?
Yes. So I'm 35, so I've had pain for 35 years. Operations beyond operations. Basically my body's a war battle. It's in itself. Sometimes I'd find it hard to get out of bed. And then when John came for the first time, he prayed on me over those few days that he was here, and each time I seemed to get better and better. A month later, I had put the pair of tracksuit back on and they were shorter. And my mum said, "What happened? You've grown?" I said, "Yeah, I don't know, but I've grown." And I said, and she said, "What did you eat?" And I said, "No, it's not me, it's Jesus that helped me." And even I couldn't even reach the highest shelves, which you'd probably find it easy, but for me it was I could just do it with my tippy fingers.
Yeah.
Now I can just put my hand right in and just reach.
You've just gone back up for prayer. You need to tell us what happened.
Well, I was told to come up. He just called me up and he prayed on me and he lengthened my legs. Apparently I could feel my legs like an elastic stretching.
Me and my mate were just standing there next to her and just fallen on the ground and laying there after John prayed for her, and I just heard about 14 clicks in about 5 seconds, and I just thought it was weird, and I said to her, "Do your legs usually click like that?" And she goes, "What, are they clicking?" And I went, "Yeah." So I grabbed my mobile phone and start videoing her legs.
She's got
and they're clicking out, moving. And I'm just rubbing my eyes in case I'm not really seeing what I'm seeing. And then everyone gathered around and just watched as her legs, each foot would just go click, 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 slowly just lengthening and moving, and then clicking to the sides a bit as well as her back seemed to be straightening up and clicks up her spine. And we measured her earlier, I believe. You guys got measured.
I got her earlier, and I was about underneath, about a little bit underneath a nail on the cross, and now we
measured her back up against the same spot, and she was about that much taller.
So 1.5 to 2 centimetres taller.
Yep.
I booked into the sessions with the seminar, and my mum's just got back from South Africa. It was a trip she didn't know if she'd be able to go on because she was diagnosed with a secondary cancer, which was a lump in her neck. Mum's absolute sceptic, not comfortable in churches that are evangelical and clap and praise God in the way that my church does. Towards the end of after the teaching session, that John mentioned that there was someone in the crowd, a lady with an issue with her neck, and that there was also a gentleman, and for them to come forward. And the gentleman got up straight away, and I looked at my mum, and my mum's the sort of person too that never wants to be the centre of attention. She's very uncomfortable with that, and it was like within a flash she was on her feet and out the front. There was no second thought about it. And as she described to me later, she said she felt this burning sensation. She knew that John was speaking to her and that God was speaking to her. This burning sensation went through her breast where she had the initial cancer, up through her neck. And she said it was just such a powerful experience that she cannot even begin to describe, but obviously very real. And confessed later on that she always thought these things were staged and that they were pushed and that they were set up, and that when people fall down, it's just from it's all a show and it's put on. And she said, but until it happens to you, you can't even begin to explain what it's all about. So and basically when she went up to speak to John before she left, she did come up to say, I was a skeptic, but the lump has definitely reduced. It immediately the cancerous lump has reduced, and that's when he laid hands again and said, well, okay, we're going to have to pray again. And then she went down for that final time. But this morning, actually it was tonight when I spoke to her and said, how are you feeling? She was glowing with joy, radiant, very happy, and said it's at least half the size that it was beforehand. So a very happy lady.
I did have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue for about 18 months.
Okay.
It started when I opened a coffee shop, and I worked about 60 hours a week. And first I just thought it was just hard hours, Some doctors don't really know what's wrong with you, so I kept on looking for doctors that could, diagnose me. And in the end there was a doctor saying I'd had fibromyalgia, and chronic fatigue comes very often with that. It was just an absolute nightmare. I had to sell my shop in the end because I couldn't cope. And even though I had sold my shop, I was pretty useless at home. I couldn't do anything, and the pain didn't disappear. But John came to our church one Easter Sunday evening, and the very first thing I remember he said was that 95% of cases with fibromyalgia he prays for get healed. And I had not heard that anyone got healed from this before. So I just got so excited because I thought, man, 95%? I have all of that. I'm going to be selfish for once. I really am, because I am so tired of being sick. I don't want this pain one more minute. And so I went up when he called people up for pain, with pain, and he started praying for me, and it kept coming back. And I didn't want to leave because I said, this is my night. God's going to heal me. I don't care. They can turn the lights off. They can pull the chairs out. I'm just going to stay here till he does heal me. But I actually couldn't move either. God just glued me to the floor. I couldn't move. And this honey-like liquid feeling just went up and down my body. So I knew God was doing something. And I felt like I was the last person leaving that meeting. I'm not sure. But I went there totally pain-free at the end of the night. I got my strength back in my hands because I didn't really have much strength. Went back to my husband that was sitting waiting for me in the pew, and I said, can you feel this? And I squeezed his arm really hard, and he realised my strength was back. It was just amazing. And I've been totally pain-free ever since.
I heard about the John Mellors healing seminar, so I came to suss it all out and see what it's all about.
Did you believe in healing?
I did, but then, there's always that scepticism and all that sort of stuff. I thought, well, because my son, I wasn't going to bring him because it was such a big turnout. I thought, I won't bring him. I didn't want him crushed by the masses because I knew it was going to be quite big. Pastor Rob Albano, he saw me up the front, so he asked what I wanted. I just wanted to know if he can pray for my son. They took a tissue out of a box and they said that John will pray over this, take it home and put it on whatever problem my son has. So they gave me the tissue, John prayed over it, I took it home, and I took it home believing that something will come of all this. Took it home, put it on my son's throat, I prayed, expecting something. The next day his speech was a lot better. Even still to this day, he's a little bit more looser with the tongue, and God is the only one that can do this.
He said, does anyone have pain all over? And I put up my hand and he called me out and he prayed, and initially all the pain went except for one arm.
You're fibromyalgia. Is it painful?
Very.
And so my PA suffered for that terribly. God healed him. He specialises in doing the impossible.
Jesus, God, I come against fibromyalgia. I break infirmity right now. God, set her free. God, release your healing virtue right now, God. Free!
And he's prayed several times more for just the remaining pain in one arm, and it's all gone. 1 minute I was standing there, and virtually the next minute I was on the floor, and I just sort of felt warm and surrounded in sort of a peace and care and sort of a real feeling of love.
He's the greatest God you could ever have.